Well, our lead story tonight, after the electoral reforms bill was passed in half an hour in the Lok Sabha amid disruptions and chaos. Today in the Rajya Sabha, a similar story. There was chaos and disruptions once again as the electoral reform bill was passed today in the Rajya Sabha. It was tabled there by the law minister, so passed literally within short and just over an hour. There was disruptions, opposition MPs protested. In fact, the Trinamool Derek O'Brien has been suspended for allegedly throwing a rule book at the chair. He says it wasn't true. The bill is controversial. The opposition wanted it referred to a select committee. It allows Aadhaar to be linked to voter ID.
But anything can be done.
लेकिन आज एक दल के नेता, एक प्रमुख दल के नेता का जिस प्रकार से व्यवहार था, रूल से तो पूरी तरीके से उल्लंघन किया गया, पर एक देश में रूल ऑफ डिसेंसी है और मैं समझता हूं डिसेंसी इज द लीस्ट दैट वी कैन एक्सपेक्ट इवन अमंगस्ट ईच अदर.
See, this is what I mean by throwing the rule book. Okay, here. This is the rule book. Here. Ow. That's throwing the rule book. I did not do that. This is a throwing. I understand throwing. This is throwing. Here's the rule book. Pick it up. Throw. And listen, Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah are murdering.
So the chaos continuing in Parliament there. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Modi was back in Uttar Pradesh today, this time for a function where over 1,000 crore rupees was transferred to self-help groups consisting of women. The rally address today was said to have 2 lakh women attending, according to the UP government. However, the opposition has hit out Akhilesh Yadav for why the Prime Minister is having sarkari election rallies. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra saying that the BJP is now taking the Congress's women focus and also charging that her children's Insta accounts are being hacked.
किसने ध्यान रखा है? देश के प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने.
A BJP MP openly campaigning for votes with the Prime Minister on stage at an Uttar Pradesh government event in Prayagraj. Prime Minister Modi launched the transfer of 1,000 crore rupees of central funds to women-run self-help groups across UP. Rupees 4,000 has been transferred as the first month's stipend to 20,000 women banking correspondents under a UP government scheme. The Prime Minister also released 20 crore rupees to 15,000 girl children under a separate state government scheme. As his government introduced the controversial bill raising the marriage age of women from 18 to 21 in Parliament, the Prime Minister attacked the Samajwadi Party for protesting this.
बेटियों भी चाहती थी कि उन्हें उनकी पढ़ाई लिखाई के लिए आगे पढ़ने के लिए समय मिले, बराबर अवसर मिले. इसलिए बेटियों के लिए शादी की उम्र को 21 साल करने का प्रयास किया जा रहा है. लेकिन किसको इससे तकलीफ हो रही है, ये सब देख रहे हैं. माता बहनों बेटियों ने ठान लिया है, अब वो पहले की सरकारों वाला दौर वापस नहीं आने देगी.
This was the Prime Minister's 10th day in Uttar Pradesh in just the last month, and elections have not even been announced yet. Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav, campaigning in Mainpuri, took this sarkari rally jibe at the Prime Minister.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी की रैली जनता की रैली नहीं होती, वो सरकारी रैली होती है, सरकारी के खर्च में. अभी रैली होने जा रही है एक उनकी इलाहाबाद में. सुनने में आया कि मैनपुरी से भी सरकारी बसें लेकर के गई हैं महिलाओं को.
Priyanka Gandhi Vadra questioned the Prime Minister's timing, saying it came after her poll promises to women a 40% quota of election tickets, stipends and two-wheelers for girl students.
मुझे ये कहना है, उत्तर प्रदेश की महिलाओं, मैंने आपसे क्या कहा था? अपनी शक्ति को पहचानो. आज आपकी शक्ति के सामने इस देश के प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी झुक रहे हैं. 5 सालों से क्यों नहीं की ये घोषणाएं? छोड़िए, मेरे बच्चों के इंस्टाग्राम के अकाउंट भी हैक कर रहे हैं.
The UP government claims the event was attended by over 2 lakh women. who were brought in from across UP in government buses or those organized by the government. The battle for UP's 6.5 crore women voters is intensifying. With Nitin Gupta in Prayagraj and Vineet Verma, this is Alok Pandey, NDTV.
Meanwhile, a landslide victory for Mamata Banerjee's Trinamool Congress in the Kolkata municipal elections today. All the other parties left far behind. The Mamata Banerjee's Trinamool Congress has got 134 of the 144 wards of the Kolkata Municipal Corporation, for which voting had taken place on Sunday. The BJP won 3, the Congress 2. The left also leading 2 seats. Independents have won 3 as well. So as a rival state in single digits, Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee called the civic poll results today a victory for the Trinamool in national politics as well.
The other national party also, they contested against us together. BJP, Congress and CPM. And they are all defeated by the people. And this is the verdict, this is a mandate. It is of the people, by the people, for the people. हमारा पार्टी का लैंडस्लाइड विक्ट्री इसी के लिए है कि हम सन ऑफ द सॉइल है, डॉटर ऑफ द सॉइल है. हम लोग लैंड में ही काम करते हैं. हम आसमान में काम करने का तरीका नहीं बताते हैं. हम जो करते हैं वो बोलते हैं. एक काम करते हैं. कलकत्ता देखो कितना बढ़िया हो गया है. आने वाला दिन भी जो भी काम बाकी है फिर हम करेंगे.
Well, the other big headline tonight, the Centre, the Health Secretary wrote to Chief Secretaries of all states today saying activate war rooms to track the latest COVID trends and the Omicron variant, however small it may be. They said that since this is 3 times more transmissible, it calls for even greater foresight, data analysis and dynamic decision making, saying Omicron has to have containment measures, including the imposition of night curfew if needed. When it crosses a particular threshold, use emergency funds to increase hospital beds, ambulances, oxygen equipment and medicines. So the centre to states, get ready that this calls for door-to-door case searches as parts of tests and surveillance. India has today recorded over 200 Omicron cases in India. The 11 more patients being found infected by Omicron in Maharashtra as well. So we now got over 213 Omicron cases in India, rapidly growing as we can see from last week. But remember, this is only from the samples which have been genome sequenced. And of course, our genome sequencing is only reflective of just a portion of possible Omicron cases in India. So NDTV spoke to one businessman in Delhi who had the Omicron variant. He's recovered now. Here's what he said it was like.
आप में किस तरह के सिम्टम थे या किस तरह की तकलीफ थी जब?
मुझे एक्चुअली मैं सच बताऊं तो मुझे एक भी सिम्टम नहीं आया. मुझे फ्रॉम द डेट की जब मैं टेस्ट पॉजिटिव हुआ था टू टिल दिस डेट मुझे एक भी सिम्टम नहीं आया. ना मुझे सोर थ्रोट था, ना मुझे फीवर था, कुछ भी नहीं था. मतलब अगर मेरा टेस्ट ना होता तो शायद मुझे भी पता नहीं लगता कि मैं ओमिक्रॉन वेरिएंट से जो भी कोविड पॉजिटिव था. तो अभी तक तो मैं मतलब नेगेटिव भी हो चुका हूँ, 2 बार टेस्ट भी हो गए, तो कोई सिम्टम नहीं आया. मेरी तबीयत भी एक भी बार खराब नहीं हुई. आइसोलेशन में रह के आया, क्वारंटीन में हॉस्पिटल में रह के आया. वहां पर भी कम से कम 40-45 पेशेंट थे, जिसमें से शायद 30-35 को कोई सिम्टम्स नहीं थे.
ये साउथ अफ्रीका वगैरह से जो खबरें आ रही है उसमें कह रहे हैं कि सोर थ्रोट ज्यादा होगा, आपको गले में तकलीफ ज्यादा होगी, हाई डिग्री फीवर नहीं रहता है. आपको कुछ भी नहीं था?
कुछ भी नहीं सर, कुछ भी नहीं. मुझे एक भी सिम्टम नहीं था. मुझे एक दिन के लिए भी फीवर भी नहीं आया. मुझे सोर थ्रोट भी नहीं था. मुझे कुछ भी नहीं. मैंने कोई मेडिसिन भी नहीं ली, मैं सच बताऊं.
शुरू में जब डिटेक्शन हो के आपको पता चला, पहले आप पॉजिटिव हुए होंगे एयरपोर्ट पे, फिर आपको लोकनायक लेके जाएगा.
जी, मुझे एलएनजेपी ले
जाएगा. उसके बाद जब पता चला होगा कि ओमिक्रॉन है
जी,
उस वक्त का अनुभव अगर आप बताएं कि अचानक आपको ओमिक्रॉन.
सर मतलब पहले तो बिकॉज गवर्नमेंट ने बोला कि हमारे पास सिर्फ 2-3 ही लैब्स हैं जो ये देखती हैं कि ये ओमिक्रॉन वेरिएंट है कि नहीं है. तो पहले तो मुझे रेगुलर कोविड ही बोला था. 2-3 दिन बाद वो कॉन्फर्मेशन आया कि ओमिक्रॉन है, तो अब आप एलएनजे. मैं 2-3 दिन होम आइसोलेशन में रहा हूँ. उसके बाद मुझे वो 2-3 दिन बाद नीचे एम्बुलेंस भेजे मेरे घर, और यहाँ से मैं एलएनजेपी ट्रांसफर किया गया हूँ. तो फिर वहां पर गए, एक्सपीरियंस थोड़ा स्ट्रेसफुल ही था. मतलब एकदम से ऐसे नीचे पीसीआर आ गई 3-4. बट गवर्नमेंट ने अच्छा एक कंट्रोल करने के लिए मैं कहूंगा शायद प्लानिंग बिठाई है या जो भी बिठाई है. बट वो जैसे अभी भी आप नीचे देखेंगे, मेरे घर के नीचे 4 गार्ड्स खड़े हैं अभी भी. ये 4 गार्ड्स दिन में और 4 गार्ड्स रात में अलग खड़े रहते हैं टू इंश्योर कि मैं हाउस अरेस्ट पे रहूं, मेरी फैमिली हाउस अरेस्ट पे रहे.
So the good news is that he had no symptoms at all, and clearly the government on high alert with 4 guards actually outside his house. But here's why India is taking no chances. Just look at how fast Omicron is growing around the world. Now, the United States, daily cases over 268,000. That's in the United States, the last 24 hours. Of that, Omicron cases sequence so far is 1,485. But officially, the CDC has said that Omicron cases are now 73% of total cases. Look at the UK with daily cases over 91,000 and Omicron cases almost half that at over 41,000. Delhi, Canada and Norway, Denmark, all cases with extremely high Omicron cases growing there, as we can see. So in the United States, as we said, the CDC has now said that from 3% in a week, the Omicron variant is now 73% of cases in the United States. And today on the NDTV Dialogues, I spoke also to the head of Hindustan Unilever, India's largest FMCG company. He talked on a range of issues, including how corporate India is looking at precautions for the Omicron variant, his meeting with the Prime Minister yesterday, and also the new trend of Indian CEOs going global, and more Indian origin people are being appointed as CEOs of global companies, including Leena Nair for Chanel. What is it about the Indian CEO that makes them all heading so many now companies globally as well?
Yeah, it's, I think it's an age of Indian managers. First is, we are people who are taught to navigate the rough and tumble of Indian chaos.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's a very important trait. And remember, I was talking to you about sense making. Indians intuitively get into sense making. The second is, India is multicultural. Here we are so different. Palate is different, culture is different, tastes are different, beauty quotient is different, language is different. So we are able to navigate the multicultural world very well. Then the third important bit is Indians' ethos of hard work, integrity, is values, keeping the company above self. All those things are coming into play in a very big way. And last but not the least, I think empathy, which is now becoming a big thing in the Western world, that also comes naturally to an Indian person. So compassion, empathy, that comes in very naturally, because we live in a country where there is huge amount of paradox, and our culture teaches us to do that.
The importance of India's multicultural ethos. Meanwhile, moving on, well, Delhi is freezing. In fact, it's even colder than hill stations like Simla and Mussoorie. The temperatures, well, Delhi's minimum was 4 degrees. That's 4 degrees below normal. Shimla was at 5.4 and Mussoorie at 5. So there we are. And of course, extremely cold also in places like Srinagar, Churu, Amritsar, Udaipur, Agra, Dehradun and Jammu, which are all seeing temperatures currently below normal. Well, Dubai's ruler Sheikh Mohammed will have to pay his ex-wife Princess Haya £554 million. That's Britain's biggest ever divorce settlement. It actually works out to about 5,545 crores in Indian rupees. Sheikh Mohammed has been directed to make a one-off payment of £251.5 million within 3 months to his ex-wife. The bulk of that will be used for security costs to keep the princess and her children safe from kidnap, and a further £290 million to pay for the maintenance of his 2 children for the rest of their lives. Princess Haya told the court it's not excessive to ask for millions to pay for, amongst other expenses, 5 housekeepers, clothing, the upkeep of 2 mansions and regular holidays. The judge noted that the family enjoyed exceptional wealth and a remarkable standard of living while living in Dubai. The previous largest sum awarded by the court was £453.6 million when a Russian millionaire, Akhmedov, was directed to pay for his 2016 divorce settlement. Well, this Christmas week, all the big stars are on NDTV, and here's Priyanka Chopra Jonas talking to Rohit Khilnani on her role in the new Matrix film. Is it huge for an Indian star to be part of this? Here's what Rohit asked Priyanka, and of course also she's got a Bollywood movie coming up next year.
Hi Rohit, how are you?
Hey
So good to
Priyanka,
see you again.
so great, so good to see you and so proud of you.
Oh, thank you. I was just telling everyone in the room that you're a film critic, so I need to know what you thought of the movie.
I already told them I loved it, and I was, especially watching you was such a proud moment. Watching Purab was such a proud moment for all of us here.
Thank you so much. So happy.
Right, Priyanka, is it a big deal for Priyanka Chopra Jonas to get a Matrix movie?
Of course it is. I've started working in a completely new industry, and you know that it takes, to build yourself. You've worked a lot in the States as well, so to build yourself up to getting to a point where you get to play pivotal characters, you have to have people develop, at least in the industry, develop a certain confidence with what you can deliver. And that takes time, and I've been working here for almost now 7 years. So it's very exciting to be trusted with, a movie like The Matrix, be given the responsibility of a character like Sati, who was so strategically placed in the last movie, to have a pivotal role in Neo's life. So I feel very proud that, it's taken a lot of work to get where I am, and I still feel like there's a lot more I want to do. I want to, try to have at least as prolific, as prolific a kind of background in entertainment as I did back in India. I've worked with almost every filmmaker, every actor, and do every kind of genre. So yeah, it's a big deal to do The Matrix, I feel like, because it's another step in the direction that I want to go into.
Right, Priyanka, back in the days when we watched the earlier Matrix movies as kids, we could never imagine an Indian actor in an important role in a big world franchise like this one. At what point do you think this changed? And I have to say that you've played a big role in it.
Well, I tried, because when I went to the States and I started working there, it was very hard for people to take me seriously. And it was very hard to convince people that I have the ability to deliver if I, play pivotal parts and leads.
Right.
So I did a lot of work. I did not, carry my stardom or carry whatever I had built in India. I walked into every room as a new actor, and I demanded opportunities, honestly. And Rohit, it took, like I said, 7 to 10 years, and I'm just not subtle about it. And I think it's been a long time where, global entertainment, English language entertainment has really not given opportunities to South Asian actors or South Asian talent. We've just not had a seat at the table, and I'm not going to stand for that as much as I can help it. So I'm hoping that with my work for myself as well, I'm able to pivot away for myself as an artist, but also be the shoulders for other people to, influx Hollywood like it should be. We are 1/5 of the world's population, but you don't see South Asian people in important roles. There's so few.
But now you see the lines blurring. Now you think we have a seat on the table?
No, I don't. I think we have a foot in the door. I think, for like the few South Asians that we have, the players that we have in Hollywood, whether that's Mindy Kaling, Aziz Ansari, whether that's Hassan Minhaj, and, just like Riz Ahmed, I think all of us have sort of pushed the envelope in a big way where the door has been kicked open, and we have said we want a seat at that table. So I think now is the time where I'm hoping that we will get that.
Right. Lastly, we'll see a good balance of Bollywood and Hollywood, because we expect to see you here as well.
Yeah, I'm end of next year, I'll be filming Jile Zara with Katrina and Alia, and which I'm really excited about. It's been a long time since I've spoken dialogues in Hindi or I've danced to songs. So I told Farhan, I said, I better be dancing in this movie.
Wow, of course. Right, Priyanka, we miss you very much, and every time we see you, it makes us extremely proud. Thank you so much for giving us.
Thank you so much, Rohit. That means a lot to me.